Okay, so our next step is going to be stitching in the casing in the neckline. I'm going to be putting in 1/4 inch elastic, so I need to make sure that my casing is just big enough to hold the 1/4 inch elastic. Alright, so I'm going to fold it over. And make my seams. So this is the front of our dress. It doesn't really matter where you start, but bear in mind that on the back you are going to be leaving yourself an opening for your elastic to go in, so sometimes it might be easier if you start on the back. We're going to be sewing through a lot of layers of thickness here, so just be aware of that.
She's going to be like our official moderator for like everything.
Yes?
Mommy?
Yes?
I can find that cake, but I need your phone. I
Okay.
need your phone.
Oh, well, you're going to have to wait for my phone for just a few minutes till I finish sewing this because I'm videotaping something right this minute, okay? Can you give me just a minute?
I'm going to tell Yaya.
Okay, you tell Yaya. The hardest part here is really making sure you don't bunch up your flounce on the other side. And then also that when you get to the parts that don't have the dress under it, so it's just the flounce being folded over, that you fold over enough to get your casing. Because you want to make sure you can fit your elastic in there. However, when you're working with 1/4 inch elastic, you've got some, it's not very wide, so as long as you're careful, you can, even if you get a little, make it a little thinner than you expect to. Almost around the back. And if you get a little bit wonky on this seam, remember that it will have elastic in it. So even if it's a touch wonky, it should look alright once you put the elastic in because it'll gather it up and then it shouldn't look too bad. And you know, if you hate it, you can undo it and take it out and do it again. Alright, I'm going to stop there and cut my threads. I'm going to run my elastic in here. So we talked about elastic earlier. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I will show you. because I have to cut a new piece of elastic because I realized I can't find the one I cut earlier. You're going to take a safety pin, which I have one here. This is not the one I'm going to use just because it's too big. But you're going to take a safety pin that the head is small enough to fit in your casing. So this is going to be a pretty small safety pin, but it needs to also be a sturdy one because if it's a super flimsy one, it will get stuck and you will hate life. I'll try and do this. You're going to put your safety pin on the end of your elastic, put the elastic in that little hole you left at the back and run it through. And when you get it comes back out the other side, you're going to stitch it down, alright? So I'll come back as soon as we have that done.